Can we ask everyone to take their seats? We're going to start in a couple minutes. Thank you. Okay, we'll get started. Good evening, graduates, delegates, members, families, and friends. Welcome to the 2024 Indiana-Kentucky Apprenticeship Graduation Ceremony. My name is Matt McGriff, and I serve as Executive Secretary Treasury for the Central Midwest Carpenters. First, we'd like to start off the evening by playing our national anthem. At this time, if you are able, please rise and join us in our national anthem. It's my honor to welcome and introduce our keynote speaker of the evening. Under the direction of General President McCarran, the training and innovative skills that our members acquire at more than 250 training centers throughout North America. It is a testament to his leadership. General President McCarran is the strongest leader in labor to date, and his leadership is why our union has become the gold standard of the labor movement. Please welcome General President Douglas McCarran.
Thank you, Matt. You're doing a great job as EST, and congratulations on your election. Now, you come from a long line of great leadership in the Central Midwest, including District Vice President Mike Kwiatkowski and General Secretary Treasurer Mark McGriff. Mike and Mark, this council is stronger than ever, and it's because of leaders like you who helped build a strong foundation for this regional council. I'd like to introduce one other person at the head table, Joe Kohler. He's a trustee. He's been a trustee of the Apprenticeship Trust for 40 plus years here in Indiana. And I've had the pleasure of working with Joe for 8 years at the International Training Center in Las Vegas. He's a trustee in our fund there, our national fund. Now, Joe has been with the general contractor Tone and Black for 57 years. Tone and Black has been in business for 102 years. And you know, all the new journeymen here should get to know Joe. His company usually does about $350 million worth of construction work in Indiana each and every year. Joe, would you stand up, please? Thank you. He's a man that really committed himself to the construction industry and carpenters' apprentices. You can think that he's been to these dinners 40 plus times. That's pretty darn good. For all the new journeymen here, congratulations to the carpenters from the Midwest Regional Council. I know this is a milestone in your career. You're now expected to demonstrate a level of leadership we have seen out of this Central Midwest Council, because you are the leaders who will grow this union for the next generation of apprentices. And I know you can, because you already are. There's 1,000 more apprentices this year in Indiana and Kentucky than there was last year. And the apprentices are more diverse than ever before. A 45% growth in female apprentices and a 37% growth in minority apprentices. That's outstanding, and it's top in the nation. And it's very important, because we cannot take advantage of the investments in our infrastructure. We can't grow our market share if we don't grow this union. When you think of the 3 big acts that were passed by Congress and signed by the President, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, $1.2 trillion of construction work. The CHIPS and Science Act, the Inflation Reduction Act. You add them all up, and you put the investment that's going out there. Just our work in the next 10 years is over $1 trillion of carpenter's work. You're becoming journeymen at exactly the right time, I tell you that. It's very good. There's over $40 billion worth of work for carpenters in Indiana and Kentucky right now. Carpenters in Kentucky and Ohio are rebuilding the most important link in our transportation network in the country. The Brent Spence Bridge carries more than $2 billion, with a B, $2 billion in freight every single day. You're not just rebuilding a bridge, you're rebuilding communities. We're connecting people to the food, the diapers, the medicine they need to live their lives. And that's important, because your brothers and sisters in Indiana are rebuilding America's manufacturing industry from the ground up. Indiana saw a historic amount of new manufacturing projects, from steel to automotive to high-tech, electronics, and pharmaceuticals. The jobs we lost to NAFTA are coming back, and you're building the future for us in Indiana and all over the Midwest. And it's all possible because you're also rebuilding the energy grid and strengthening the energy grid. The solar panel manufacturing facilities you build and the solar panels that you install aren't just good for the climate, they're good for our national security. That's renewable, American-made energy. When you rebuild and strengthen our energy grid, you make our country more secure because you make us energy independent. Because it's union work, it's good for our economy also. Union workers think about the project. Union leaders think about what the project means. These projects means a stronger labor movement, a stronger economy, and a stronger country. It's important to remember that those investments and the work you're doing just didn't happen. They are because members like you took responsibility on and off the job site and voted for people who support our union. The skills you developed in this apprenticeship mean that we can beat any competitor on the job site. And electing people who support us helps ensure that those job sites are safe and union strong. Now tonight, as a graduate of this apprenticeship program, you know what it means to work like a union carpenter. But as we look at the election, I'd like you to consider voting like a union carpenter. The leadership of your council knows what it means, and if you have any questions about voting like a union carpenter, ask the men and women that work for this regional council. They know how important it is and what it means for your families and your career. Your new life as a journey-level carpenter is just beginning. You got here by investing in yourself through the opportunities made possible by your union. I hope you continue to seize all the leadership development and training opportunities at the International Training Center in Las Vegas and here at your own regional council. And I hope that you vote like you understand the consequences of the election. Again, I want to congratulate each and every one of you and best wishes for a successful career as a professional union carpenter. Congratulations.
Thank you, General President McCarron, for being here tonight. And your words make an impact on all of us, I can tell you that. Our next speaker is Midwestern District Vice President Mike Kwiatkowski, who I consider not only as a mentor, but a true friend. Please welcome Midwestern District Vice President Mike Kwiatkowski.
Thank you. I saw where I was in the lineup. I figured we were going to intermission when I came up here. Well, let me start with good evening. Before I begin, I would like to congratulate our graduates here this evening. You should be proud of what you have accomplished, and I am proud to stand before you as your Midwestern District Vice President and honor you here tonight. As I look around this room, I see spouses, significant others, and I just lost my place. And parents of our graduates. I would like to take a minute to thank all of you and recognize you for being their support system during their apprenticeship and, of course, for your presence here tonight. So let's give a round of applause for all those that have supported you. As you think about the next step in your career, now that you're a journeyman, let's take a step back first and recognize our past. I'd like to give each of you a brief history on the UBC. In 1881, 36 carpenters from 11 cities met in a warehouse in Chicago, Illinois. Their goal was to form a national union, a union that would set the standards for wages, benefits, conditions, and quality on every project in the United States. After days of heated discussion, a constitution was produced, a new structure implemented, and 2,000 organized carpenters came together to form the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America. Over the past 143 years, we have seen a lot of changes. Changes with new tools, new materials. Even our general contractors are starting to get replaced with construction managers and specialized subcontractors. We've watched the tool which defines us the most, the hammer, evolve from wood and steel to titanium and carbon, and we've adapted. Through investments in training and an emphasis on safety, the carpenter has been able to stay at the forefront of the labor movement. The industry continues to change, and we continue to change with it. We have fought to protect and defend our trade throughout our existence. And some of the most important fights and the most important victories have been on Election Day. The fight for an 8-hour workday began as a national strike led by our founder, Peter J. McGuire, and later became law after we elected FDR to be president in 1932. OSHA and a right to federal safety standards was a fight that began with the very first American Congress in 1790, but didn't become federal law until 1970 when Congress put a bill in front of President Nixon to sign. The rights we have today were fights that began long before any of us were born, and they will continue under each of your leadership. Because the carpenter of the 21st century is no different than the carpenter of the 19th century. From the bloody knuckles and calloused hands to the ripped dirty blue jeans and the God Bless America stickers on their lunchbox, today's carpenter still carries the same spirit, fire, and passion. And he reminds us every day that the union card has, is, and always will be a badge of honor for those that carry it. And leaving that craftsman without one, a man without a trade. Today's a celebration of brothers and sisters that help set the standards for us today, with nothing more than a foundation built of hope and a vision to bring human rights and workers' rights together at the workplace. There were men and women who ignited the spirit of the brotherhood, who felt it in their heart, who passed that spirit to others on the job site. And that spirit, that fire, that passion, that pride is still as powerful today as it was in 1881 when 36 carpenters met in a warehouse in Chicago. Today we honor brothers and sisters who have come before us. But more importantly, today we honor each of you, the ones who now bear the responsibility to better their lives in our trade, and you will carry this organization on for years to come. We do this on and off the job site every day. Like our general president has said, we don't just work like carpenters, we lead like carpenters. And like the men and women who came before us, we need to vote like carpenters. As you continue your journey in this trade, you'll face adversity, you'll face challenges, and you'll face exhaustion. I know, because one time I was sitting there in your shoes, excited to be a journeyman. You are no longer the mentee, as you are now the mentor. And you now have that responsibility to define the culture and the legacy of this organization for years to come. As I look around this room, I see hundreds of different stories that all brought each of us here tonight. And although we cannot go back and rewrite the beginning of the story, each of us, from this moment on, can write the ending of our story any way we want to. For you'll find the only limits in your career and in life are the limits you set for yourself. I'd like to leave you with one of my favorite quotes. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. That gift for everyone in this room is the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America. You are now a journeyman. Give your best every day, and this organization will give back to you as much as you have given to it. Congratulations, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, for being here tonight and helping to guide this council for many years. I'd like to call up Mike Bohan to give the blessing.
Good evening. Tonight, as we celebrate our graduates, let us take a moment to remember those that we have lost. Ron Clemens, a longtime instructor, made a profound difference at the JATF with his passion and dedication. We also honor the apprentices we've lost this year, each bringing unique energy and promise to our community. As we reflect on their contributions, let us carry their memories with us and continue to support one another in their spirit. Please join me in a moment of silence for our lost brothers and sisters. Let us bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the opportunity to gather together this evening to celebrate the graduation of our apprentices. We pray that you will bless their efforts, abilities, and achievements, both personally and professionally. Thank you so much for the meal before us. We pray that you would bless it to our bodies and bless the hands that prepared it. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. Now, please enjoy your dinner. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to the 2024 graduation banquet. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate our graduates who have successfully completed their respective apprenticeship programs and are now proud Journey Level members. Not everyone who starts this journey reaches the finish line. So to those walking across the stage tonight, we honor your dedication and commitment. I would like to take a moment to recognize some of our distinguished guests. UBC General President Douglas McCarron, UBC General Secretary Treasurer Mark McGriff, Midwestern District Vice President Michael Kwiatkowski, Indiana Kentucky Training Fund Executive Board members, Chairman Matthew McGriff, Secretary Joseph Core, Adam Fedak, Jim Hiss, Kenneth Lyons, and Rick Petrie. Along with our labor and management trustees. Without the vision and leadership of the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, we wouldn't be where we are tonight. Thank you for everything each of you do every day to support our members. I would like to also recognize our U.S. Department of Labor partners, Indiana State Director David Gray and Apprenticeship Training Representative George Hutchinson. Ivy Tech Executive Director of Apprenticeship Teresa Hess and Senior Vice President of Workforce Alignment Molly Dodge. Because of these relationships, we are able to have this fantastic apprenticeship program. I would like to invite all of our military veterans in attendance to please stand. We take this moment to honor and express our deepest gratitude to each of you for your service and sacrifice in defending our country. Your courage and dedication have ensured the freedoms that we enjoy this evening, and for that, we are forever thankful. I would like now to introduce the Central Midwest Regional Council of Carpenters Executive Secretary Treasurer, Matthew McGriff.
Again, good evening, graduates, family, and friends. As I mentioned previously, I am Matt McGriff, the Executive Secretary Treasurer for the Central Midwest Council. This class is incredibly special to me as I address my first Indiana Kentucky graduation class as your EST. Let me be the first to congratulate all of you and thank you for being part of something exceptional. This graduation should have a special meaning to all of us. By having General President McCarron present with us this evening and addressing the graduates. I would like to thank him on behalf of the Central Midwest Council for taking the time in his busy schedule to be here and celebrate with us. Graduates, as you just completed and accomplished your apprenticeship training, your journey is just beginning. Many of you think you are just a journey level now, but you are much more than that. You're a leader, a teacher, a mentor, and most important, a brother and sister to over 37,000 members of this great council. Also, I ask you to be a good union member. Stay involved by attending your local meetings, taking upgrade training classes, and being part of council events and activities. This council continues to grow and make major strides not only in 2024, but for years to come. There is no better time to be a member of this council with the amount of work opportunities, the new markets that we conquer every day. If you continue to work hard, make the effort and a dedication to this organization, your career will grow and you will achieve many accomplishments. Some of you may become a foreman, a superintendent, a project manager. You might even own your own company one day. If you set your goals ahead of you and with the help of your brothers and sisters, I have no doubt you will achieve these goals. As a new class of apprentices start the journey behind you, remember where you came from. Remember how you started. Be the teacher and mentor you would want to have on that job site. Encourage them to participate in their local activities and help them reach their goals. I want to recognize Director of Education Neil Strange and his staff at the Indiana-Kentucky Training Centers for their hard work and effort and dedication that they put into every day. Each one of them defines the words of teacher and mentor, but most important, they are all leaders. None of us will be in this room today without the support of our family and friends. They've helped us get through our careers and many sacrifices we have all made them get to. At some point in the evening tonight, please recognize the ones who have supported you and thank them for being there throughout your journey. In closing, when you go back to the job site, remember this: do not be afraid to ask for help, and do not be afraid to give that help. The United Brotherhood of Carpenters has a history of going back to when it started in 1881. It's now time for you to write that next chapter and contribute to the UBC history. Enjoy your evening, and congratulations to the Indiana-Kentucky class of 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, EST McGriff, and I do appreciate the leadership that you and this executive board do for our training fund. At this time, I would like to introduce Andy Carr, a 26-year member of Local 224 in Evansville, Indiana. Andy was a carpenter instructor at the Newburgh Training Facility for 14 years. For the last 5 years, Andy has been the Senior Technical Coordinator for the Carpenters International Training Fund. Please help me in welcoming him.
Thank you, Neil. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I'd like to congratulate everybody on behalf of our Executive Director, Bob Jacobson, and the entire staff of the Carpenters International Training Fund at the International Training Center in Las Vegas. You know, I'm a little bit biased, whether it's good or bad, but it's good to be home. And everybody, you know, I've had the opportunity, you should applaud yourself, you're fantastic. You know, I've had a lot of opportunities to work with a lot of really great people and some great councils across all of the U.S. and Canada. But, you know, you should be really proud of what you have here. The leadership from your council, from the top to the bottom, is just outstanding. And the things that you've accomplished and the things that you are accomplishing is to be commended. You know, it's hard to think back that it was nearly 21, 22 years ago that I was sitting where you are. I mean, not the exact location, but you. And thinking about what had happened, the 4 years and how fast that had gone by. And, you know, still to this day, graduating the apprenticeship is one of my proudest accomplishments, and it's something you should all be very proud of. But remember that the steps you take across this stage tonight, it's not the end of that. It's just the beginning. And I've learned that more and more through every year, is that how much I really don't know. And if you think that you know everything and you're stopping where you're at right now, you're doing yourself and the organization a great disservice. So, you know, thinking back, also, would I've ever thought that I'd be standing up here in front of you? Absolutely not. One day, it's going to be one of you that's sitting in the audience that's up here shaking hands, handing certificates. You're our future. The future of this organization depends upon each and every one of you. And as the General President said earlier, that you are coming into this at the most perfect time that it ever could be. Not just because of all the work that's out there with all the infrastructure and the chips and all that stuff, but the technology and what it's allowing our members to do and the productivity that we're allowed to do. I'm so fortunate in that I get to do a lot of really cool stuff. And your council has been very supportive in a lot of the efforts we've done, whether it's the laser scanning with the robots, for those of you that have seen it walking around with me out there, or the layout materials, the robotics in the new conveyor systems, just everything. There's so much really just awesome stuff out there that you're all going to have a part of. So I'm going to keep this short because none of you came here to listen to me tonight, but I did spend a lot of years in front of a classroom, and it makes me really proud that as I looked out and I shook hands tonight, there's a lot of my former apprentices, whether they had anything to do with me or not, that are here, and they've took my advice and they've stepped into those leadership roles. And hopefully they're here to make it better than what they were handed. because that's the goal of all of us. No matter if it's your kids or it's the organization, you want this thing to be better than the way you found it. So I've always told every class that was graduating, I said, what I want you all to do is I want you to think back to that very first day that you stepped on a job site. It doesn't matter if it was at a power plant or like me, it was building a new movie theater. And think about the anxiety you had because you were stepping into something that was brand new. The unknowns of what in the hell am I doing? I don't even know what a carpenter is. To who's this foreman? To who's the person that's going to be leading me? And one of two things happened at that moment in time. Either you had really good people around you that picked you up, that supported you, that taught you, and you walked away with a positive experience, or you had the exact opposite. And my mission for you is to remember that moment always from this point forward for the rest of your career. We only have one opportunity to bring that new member and to make them feel welcome in this organization. And for every person that's not working with us, they're working against us. So thank you, congratulations everybody, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Andy. And while not one of Andy's apprentices, I have had the fortune of working together with him for the past 10 years. He has been a mentor to me. He brought me onto curriculum teams and instructional teams at the ITC. I still continue to call him for advice. He probably cringes half the time when I call him, but thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. At this time, I would like to announce this year's graduate speaker, Mr. Kyle Harvey. Kyle, if you could, please stand for us. Well, if everyone could please join me in applauding is my next script, but that's already there. So at this time, we had Kyle record a video for us. I would like for everyone to please enjoy that with us.
My name is Kyle Harvey, and this is my journey to journeyman. I come from a long line of people who came from the trades. My grandfather was in the Steelworkers Union. My father is an operating engineer, and I knew before I even got to high school that I want to be outside and use my hands. I started on a paving crew, ended up joining the Marine Corps as a reservist. Shortly after that, I was a combat engineer. I got married. I was looking for a better life and a better opportunity for my wife and daughter, and soon to be my new daughter. And I went through helmets to hard hats to join the Carpenters, and it is by far the best decision I've ever made. This trade is absolutely open to anybody who has a desire to work and has a desire to learn, and they can show up on time, but it's not for everybody. It's hot, it's dirty, it's sweaty, physically demanding, it's very mentally taxing, there's a lot of thinking, and I love that. I eat that up. I absolutely love the opportunity to be out in the elements, doing dangerous work, climbing, doing things that are physical. It's awesome. And it is absolutely indicative of a lot of the things I did when I was in the Corps. For most people who go through the military, eventually when your service comes to an end, your desire to serve doesn't. So even if you're not in, you want to do something that's worthwhile and that's still doing something for your country. And this opportunity absolutely is it. We all cross bridges every day. Everybody gets sick and goes to hospitals. Everybody works in a building somewhere. All those things have to be built, repaired, maintained. The Carpenters do that. The great thing about the service that you're providing is that the people who will directly benefit from this are your own communities. My daughters are going to go to school at the schools that we build. You know, they're going to live in these communities that it's pretty cool to be able to say that Daddy built that and Daddy was on that project. Every company out there across the professional spectrum is looking for people. The people who are raising their hands and getting involved in this right now, they are doing an incredible service that's going to impact our country for years into the future. It could not be a better time to be a union carpenter. This is the time to get involved. If you're in this room and you're graduating, you did it and you earned it. It wasn't handed to you. The apprenticeship does not hand things to people. If you look up your TVC card and it says journeyman, it doesn't say apprentice anymore, doors have been opened. And it absolutely should mean something to you, as I'm sure it does. It sure does to me. We're the most talented carpenters in the world. That's why we're here. But part of that talent is fed by the fact that we strive and desire to continue to get better all the time. The guys that I graduated with, everybody came from interior systems, concrete. We had a couple guys that did a lot of scaffold, and the overwhelming majority of my time has been concrete, and I learned something about concrete every day. I mean, there's always something that you can learn. The apprenticeship is over, and that feels really, really good, but I don't plan on quitting the learning aspect until I'm ready to hang my tools up. I'm proud of everybody that's graduating, and it's on our shoulders now to keep the legacy going and keep this union what our dads and our grandfathers made it, and take it into the future. We're going to leave it better than what we got it, and we'll keep showing everybody why hiring union is the way to go.
Thank you, Kyle. That was a fantastic video. But as he stated in there, all graduates this evening, take that leadership role and make sure to take this and carry it on from where it needs to go. So at this moment, not only congratulating Kyle, let's please take one more moment to congratulate all the graduates in this room for the steps that they are getting ready to take. Now, every year, we do what we call the Jerry Burke Education Award, where we honor one of our instructors. I would like to introduce Mr. Wallace Turner, an 11-year member of Local 1076. Wallace is currently a delegate for this conference and a business representative as well. There you go. Come on.
Good evening. I'm Wallace Turner, president of Millwright Local 1076. It is with great pleasure that I'm here tonight to announce the recipient of the 3rd annual Jerry Burke Excellence in Training Award. This award is designed to recognize an instructor within our program who goes the extra mile to deliver outstanding training to our members. It is a tribute to someone who has mastered their craft, has a positive attitude, and shows genuine care for those around them. These personal traits embody the spirit that Jerry displayed each and every day and are essential for anyone to be considered for this award. Jerry was deeply invested in the well-being of others. He ensured the highest quality of training. He dedicated himself to refining the methods of our instruction. He was a remarkable individual, truly cared for his community. Tonight, with Jerry Burke's family present, I am honored to present this award to an individual who embodies dedication and passion for teaching, a person whom our apprentices truly look forward to learning from. So, without further ado, it is my pleasure to award the Jerry Burke Excellence in a Training Award to Janice Lawrence.
I actually am not speechless too often, but I think I might be a little speechless right now. For all of us that knew Jerry, he was just an amazing person, and Jerry hired me. And I hope I make it to heaven because I know that's where he is, so that I can thank him for the opportunity that he gave me to be a part of so many people's lives, my students, and then the people that I work with. I see a lot of our apprentices here, and I know I tell some of you guys, I don't know if I've told all of you, but I love you like you're my kids. I really do. And I don't care how old you are, you're all still my kids. And my life is better because of you. It's fuller, it's richer in ways that money can't buy, and it's just better. And it's the people that I work with and the students that I get to share a part of your journey with, and that means everything to me. I say this a lot to my students, and I want to say it to every apprentice here because I know, or not apprentice, I'm sorry, journeyman. What you belong to is so much bigger. When you look around this room, and it looks so big in this room, we belong to something that is so much bigger than what is even happening in this room. And it is very much family, and has been family for me for a long time, and it means the world. So thank you. That's all I really can say is thank you. So, thank you. Thank you.
At this time, we would like to please all of our H2H graduates to go ahead and make their way out the back doors to the left and get in line, ready for graduation. All right. Now, if all of the remaining graduates could do the same, you will be prompted on where to go and get in line and ready to walk across the stage. What? If you don't give them matter-of-fact blank what to do, they're just going to be roaming trying to find the bars. Okay. All right, as we prepare to celebrate our graduates walking across stage, we would like to recognize a truly remarkable group of individuals, our graduating military veterans. These individuals have already demonstrated immense dedication, courage, and resilience in service to our country. Today, they add another achievement to their list by completing this program, preparing to take on new challenges in civilian life. We're proud to have you as part of our community and look forward to seeing how you'll continue to lead and inspire others in their next chapter. At this time, we'd like to please introduce you and play an H2H video that we have showing this program for everyone.
Helmets to Hard Hats provide solid career opportunities for active and transitioning service members. For over 20 years, the program has worked with apprenticeship training programs like the Central Midwest Carpenters Training Program for direct entry. Since its founding, over 40,000 military personnel have successfully transitioned to quality careers in the construction industry. Opportunities with the Carpenters Union for members who enter through Helmets to Hard Hats are endless.
My first unit was 4th Tanks Echo Company at Fort Knox. I made a friend who introduced me to her brother, who was a former Marine and who had also went through the apprenticeship. I came and talked to Matt Chisholm, who was a BA at the time. He's the one who told me about Helmets to Hard Hats and guided me on what I needed to do. Created an account, made a resume on the website, and that's how I got into the apprenticeship.
We're looking for workers that are on time, there every day, willing to work. I just found over and over again, the veterans were the ones that were always rising to the top.
It's big for, in the military, not being late. And I think that it's the same with not being late to the job site, not being late to work.
Generally, the veterans exceed the standards. You just see over and over that discipline of being there every day, being there on time, being very detail-oriented.
Being in the brotherhood, I feel like this goes hand in hand with like being in the military. There's something that you can do to make the next person's job easier. You do that. You want to take care of them.
It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and guts to make it through an enlistment. And then to exit, learn a new way of life, learn how to be a civilian again, it's even harder.
Based on my experience, I definitely think that this is a good pathway to follow for, a reservist or someone coming out of active duty.
To introduce our distinguished graduates, I'm pleased to welcome someone who knows firsthand the dedication and strength it takes to serve. Ben Higginbotham, a Marine veteran and a true embodiment of the spirit we honor here today. Please join me in welcoming Ben Higginbotham.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Neil, you stole a little bit of my thunder. I was going to have all the veterans stand to be recognized. I'm not going to do that again. Don't worry. But I would like to say, from me, thank you for your service. It takes a unique individual to do that. So we're happy to have you. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I've been asked to come and talk about one of the programs the MVP offers for our veterans. It's called the Military Veterans Program. And what that is, it's a way for us to go after guys while they're still active duty and let them know that there's a path forward. I grew up in, much like a lot of you did too, I grew up with people telling me that, if I didn't go to college, I wasn't going anywhere, or, it takes a college degree to be successful. And the trades was something that was never published or really promoted when I was in high school or when I was growing up. So I actually got into the UBC on accident, believe it or not. A friend of mine that I was in Iraq with saw me on Facebook, of all places. I was working in the oil field in West Texas on pump jacks. And he said, "What are you doing in West Texas?" And I told him. He said, "You like it out there?" I said, "Well, have you ever been to West Texas?" And I said, "No, get me out of here." He said, "Well, I'm a millwright, and if you want to come be a millwright, I'll give you a hand." I said, "Well, you know what? It's not West Texas, but what's a millwright?" Which is the question, right? Nobody ever knows. I've been doing it 10 years, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Don't tell anybody, though. And the rest is history. I went down to Houston, Texas. I'm still a member of Local 2232 in Houston, Texas. came up through the apprenticeship with a veteran background. And one thing about veterans, I tell people all the time I was not the best millwright. I was more of a take it apart and apologize kind of guy. But they found out very quickly what I could do is I can make other people do things quickly and efficiently. So that's what I leaned on. I went to work for a large millwright contractor as a labor manager, and that's how I kind of fell into this role. Once we started the program in 2018, I was going to the graduations at Fort Hood in Texas in the hopes of snagging up our veterans because they offer us a lot of things. It's not, we don't go to these bases because I'm looking for great millwrights or I'm looking for great carpenters. Most of these guys, again, never heard of a millwright. If you tell them, hey, you want to be a carpenter, what do you think they would think? I don't want to go build houses, right? That's the general consensus. But I tell them all the time, I'm not here for that. I'm here because I know you're going to be on time. I know I can count on you. I know you'll look professional. You'll make our contractors look good. And years from now, you'll be leaders. So what we do is we take them in the last 6 months of service or the last 120 days if they're a Marine, because the Marine Corps likes to be difficult, speaking from firsthand knowledge. And we put them through 8 weeks of CITF-approved curriculum, so they get actual apprenticeship classes that follows them into their apprenticeship. And we give them the ability to pick whether they want to be a millwright or a carpenter, or in Washington State, and Southern California now, we have a pile driver program. Put them through that. We give them 320 training hours, and once they get out of the service, we give them that entry into the apprenticeship of their choice in the location of their choice. So to date, again, we started at Fort Cavazos. From there, we've expanded to 4 other bases. We went from Fort Cavazos to Fort Drummond, New York. We went from Fort Drummond, New York to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Fort Campbell, Kentucky, we went to Joint Base Lewis McChord, just south of Seattle. And just very recently, within the last month, we've started in Southern California at our new training center in San Diego. And that training center encompasses Camp Pendleton, Marine Corps Air Station Miramar, Point Loma, 32nd Street Naval Base. To date, we've had 548 graduates over, 5 years, 6 years, whatever it is. And the program's growing. It's growing by word of mouth. We have graduates coming out every day, going back to their units, which is kind of the beautiful part of it, is they do get to go back to their unit and they say, hey, look, I found the diamond in the rough. I know where I'm going. So through word of mouth, we spread in this year alone since January 1st to about the beginning of September. We're at 105 just for this year alone. So that's about a 20% increase over 9 months, which we're very proud of. Thank you. So in closing, that's just one of the things that we're doing for our veterans. We also are heavily partnered with Helmets to Hard Hats. As you all know, it's a much older program. We have, I believe, 13 graduates, if I'm not mistaken, from the Helmets to Hard Hats program tonight. But I just want to thank the UBC leadership. Thank you for your support in the program, and thank you for supporting our veterans.
I would like to please invite our Training Fund Executive Board to come to the stage with us, along with Ms. Molly Dodge, as we prepare to congratulate our graduates as they walk across stage.
Still going? Still going? Thank you for your service. Yes, sir.
All right, as they're going to progress across, if one of your loved ones is the one, don't be shy. Let them know how proud of them you are, and please, collectively, at the end of all of this, give them the respect that they do. Without further ado.
Joshua Byler, National Guard. Thomas Brown, National Guard. Paul Chung, Army. Corey Eichenberg, Army. Michael Good, Navy. Kyle Harvey, Marines. Harley Metcalf, National Guard. Jeremy Pond, Army. Thomas Purovich, Marines. Jordan Williamson, Army. Terry Woods, Army. Zachary Yates, Army. Kyle Moschner, Army. Trent Choate, Air Force. Kyle Banks, Marine Corps.
All right, one more time, please celebrate the H2H graduates with us. And then we now celebrate the remaining graduates as they walk across stage.
Daniel Carmer. Kyle Carmer. Michael Bull. Wesley Blackman. Corey Bellis. Holden Bell. Tyler Scher. Brandon Smiley. Marshall Baker. Jack Enright. Noe Valencia. Oscar Rivera. Justin Goodfellow. Sean Kramer. Riley King. Ethan Rouse. Fred Rouse. Chad Rankin. William Hall. Matthew Hart. Jacob Painter. Tyler Abel. Alex Donaldson. James Davis. Brandon Fritz. Logan Beers. Dominic Malgoza. Michael Williams. Caleb Dukes. Jordan Popplewell. Cody Greathouse. Tyler Strickland. Anai Flores. Adam Middleton. Brian Overby. Seth Frank. Evan Engel. Austin Littleton. Jacob Gibson. Charles Dickens. Derek Stewart. Seth Sparks. Kyle Hurley. Jacob Shockley. Austin Hill. Joshua Cardy. Troy Dahlstrom. David Garner. Isaac Sauceda. Jeremy Langerich. Darlene Easley. Kevin Barney. Jeff Weaver. Patrick Rupel. Zachary Slinker. Dakota Pavey. Cameron Johnson. Cody Brock. Brian Burris. Philip Piontek. Ryan Schaefer. Easton Wolf. Bryce Wood. Joe Vermillion. William Burns. Jalen Burmeister. Anthony Dills. James Basham. Frank Courtney. Raimundo Salvador. Jacob McQuinn. Wiley Good. Travis Wilson. Rick Chessman. Carl Pitstick. Ryan Burdine. Jordan Sharp. Perry Asuncion. Justin Forker. Zachary Ford. Tyler Graber. Jacob Jennings. James Hinkey. Jordan Myers. Christopher Persley. Jesus Sandoval Valdez. Ben Schweitzer. Christopher Reed. Jake Nesevich. Sam Price. Joshua Sizemore. Barrington Mosley. Alec Adrian. Skylar Langley. Trent Langley. Jacob Burkett. Shane Meir. Josh Lemmings. David Dearborn. Corey Anderson. Kevin Cunningham. Jose Martinez. Gustavo Gonzalez. Katrina Owens. Nicholas Hodgson. John Mucha. Joshua Poole. Luke Satera. Chris Trent. Christian Goodrich. Hunter Brown. Preston Geary. Connor Stahlbaum. Kendrell Johnson. Cody Delk. Jennifer Montgomery. Adrian Wilbur. Shane Hof. DeMonte Harris. Kevin Brooks. Bryce Silverstein. Cameron Fagg. Brandon Judy. Simon Teeter. Joshua Duncan. Jeffrey Hanshaw. Miles Douglas. Douglas Barnum. Michael McLaughlin. Corey Breeden. Jeremy Banks. Devin Sledge. Levi Horsley. Ryan Powell. Cole Bridges. Ty Miles. Daniel Miller. Connor Wilson. Jason Musselman. Patrick Ryer. Jose Ibarra. Sean Reed. Peyton Bledsoe. Isaac Anderson. Andrew Hardwick. Justin Spears. Cody Lawson. Diego Sagun. Eddie Mendez. Justin Mannon. Tim Gordon. Brandon Nunley. Pat Patrick. Caleb Greathouse. Brandon Burke. Maximilian Lima. Aaron Rake. Kirk Foreman. Keith Wallstrom. Clint Stooksbury. Albert Noah. Benjamin Noland. David Armstrong. Jaron Griffith. Alicia Williams. John Emra. Timothy Nichols. Ethan Evans. Austin Roberts. Joseph Neely. Corey Pancake. Cameron Daughtry. James Grimsley. Jimmy Favre. Kenneth Taylor. Austin Robertson. Aaron Smith. Wyatt Knowles. Reese Stott. Bryce Lyman. Kyle Randolph. Evan Elmore. John Bruns. Jake McDole. Xavier Lucas. Jaron Malakovic. Brian Bland. Jared Bailey. Jacob Jernigan. Tony Langston. Lane Miller. Chris Pearson. Patrick Salis. Alexander Ramos. Nicholas Phillips. David Sharinga. Ryan Pingle. David Hart. Brandon Slater. Antonio Ayo. Jared Pratt. Corey Massey. Chase Allen. Javon Hankins. Justin Phillips. Michael Knotts. Kelly Deckard. Is that it?
They're already on the stage.
You're going to ask generals up for the bill, or who?
They don't usually go. If we want them to, we can.
How about McCary, Mark, and Mike? How about that?
If they would like to.
Yeah.
You think they'd like to?
I will go and tell them.
You go ask them. Yep, perfect. All right. All done with you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep. All done? Yep. Yep. Appreciate it. All right. I've never shook so many hands consecutively in my life. As we come to the conclusion of this memorable ceremony, I want to take a moment one more time, please, to congratulate our graduates. They've shown incredible dedication and perseverance, and today is a testament to all their hard work. As they move forward into their new opportunities and challenges, remember that you carry the strength, discipline, and courage that has brought you here. To everyone here tonight, thank you for celebrating with us. We wish you all a safe night as you continue your celebration downtown Indianapolis and safe travels home. Thank you again.